Wow, that was a handful. That was an exciting game. Um, we got off to a pretty good start, and then had a real letdown in the middle of the game, and didn't stick to our game plan. And unfortunately, we let them kind of outwork us in the middle and take advantage of that, and get up on us. And you know what? I give our team a lot of credit for fighting back and not giving up, and they dug down and they got it back within one. And unfortunately, we didn't get the last draw control and it came up a little bit short. But a lot of credit for the effort and not giving up. So I give my team credit for that. I think we could play a little smarter. And the good thing is it's only the second game of the year, and it's a long season, and we have a lot of other top 10 teams we get to play, so we get opportunities to rebound and learn from this and try and get better. So, thanks.
See defensively during that time when they were coming back, maybe that you weren't doing that you'd done earlier on?
Well, I think it was just a combination of, they were getting multiple opportunities. We weren't getting the draw in the middle. We were playing man-to-man defense. They got some 8 meters. They did very well in their 8 meters today. And they stepped up and they made some tough shots and scored some goals. We're right on them, marked, and they dropped back and shoot, and the ball went in. So it was a tough. It was tough. They were hungry. They played the role of the underdog very well. They played with no fear, and came out with the victory. So they did a great job.
Good questions?
Sarah, you guys were up 6-2 at one point in that first half, but by the time it got to halftime, it was 7-7. Kind of what happened on defense there that you kind of started letting up goals towards the end of the half?
Teams go on runs, like sometimes they're going to score more. There's going to be some breakdowns, some transition goals. They're going to get some 8 meters. We're going to have some fouls on them. It's kind of the way the game goes. They got lucky with some shots, had some 8 meters that they scored on, made it a tie game at half.
Emily, the sense of urgency when it's, I think it's 6 of the last 7 goals, but just take us through the mindset. It's not too late. You're pushing. Take us through the mindset of that comeback late in the game.
I think it was about 11 minutes. We had a huddle and we looked at the clock and we saw what the score was, and at that point I think it was a difference of maybe 5 or 6, and we said that we needed to do something now because there still was enough time left, but we really didn't show up in the second half until that marker, which is why we're here now.
Megan, you had a lot of success creating from the low block in the first half. You guys kind of got away from that in the second half. Is that something that Stony Brook adjusted on, or are you guys just not going back down?
Yeah, just second half we didn't really come out like we did in the first half of the first half, and we were just trying to run a different offense and just wasn't falling.
Sierra, what's the biggest thing you'd hope to take from a game like this, where you had, as a team, a lot of bright spots, 16 goals, but obviously something to work on. What's the biggest thing you think the team should take out of this?
This is a big learning experience for us, like keeping the pedal down. We were up a couple of goals, and we just let them back into the game at halftime, and we came out knowing it was going to be 0-0, and we let them continue their run instead of stopping it. I think that just playing with a chip on your shoulder at all times, keeping the pedal down no matter who the team is, and just keep playing what we're supposed to be playing. I think that's what will make us win games.
Coach Gait, you started off with Emily on the draw, then you went to Morgan. You guys went up 6-2, then you went back to Emily. What was the rationale behind going back to Emily?
You just try and get a feel for it, what's happening on the draw, and certainly all our draw players are capable, and sometimes it's just a rest. It's tough to go draw after draw, especially when there's, so many goals scored. There's a lot of draws in a game. So, we always try and mix it up and utilize. And, you know, the reason we do that is so that we can get 4 or 5 in a row like we did when we made that run down the stretch, you know. Morgan got hot and got some draws, and we made a run. So, you know, sometimes you're hoping to change it and get a run going. So that's what we're thinking.
Megan, when you're looking at the rankings, you know, coming in 4 and they were 10, they seem like a pretty hungry team. They wanted to prove a point against you guys. That's just a fact of life when your Syracuse team's coming in like that. When you look at your ranking, does that seem, you know, high, or is that, do you even pay attention to that, or is that just a question of, you know, it's where you are at the end of the season that matters?
Yeah, it's definitely just where we end up in May. Right now, it's just a number. I mean, we're only second game in, so teams are going to want to come in here and beat us. But like, we don't think about what their rank is. Every team's going to be a challenge for us.
Sarah, you mentioned that coming out of halftime, it was another 0-0 game, and that you let them keep up the run that in the first half. What kind of happened there that allowed them to keep doing that?
I think that our heads were sort of still down. We weren't really in that mentality of the 0-0 game. I think that we were still in the mentality of they just went on a run. Like, we walked into the locker room with our heads down. You could hear them screaming on the other side of the locker room. Like, we just came out not fired up like they were. And I think that when we realized, like what Emily said, when there was 11 minutes left, we realized like the game's gonna, like there's only a couple minutes left of the game. Like, then that's when we finally put the work in. But we just didn't come out with the effort that we should have came out with.
That's a good point, and like you mentioned, they did seem like a very enthusiastic team all game long. Not that you guys weren't pumped up, but you hear them screaming and yelling. Do you figure like maybe you just need a little bit more energy on your side, or that just know other teams are going to be that pumped up to play against you this year?
Well, I just know that every team's gonna come and play their best game against Syracuse. Like you said, we're a top 5 team. Like, everybody's gonna play their best game against Cuse. So just not letting our heads get, like, just not getting into our own heads and keeping the energy throughout the sidelines and onto the field shows the other team that we're not getting down. And by us staying quiet, it shows the other team that we are getting down. So I think that just like continue the energy throughout the sidelines and onto the field really reflects on how the game is going to be played.
And Gary, the goal by number 14 midway through that run behind the back, you know, how often do you see that in the women's game? I mean, what did you think of that score behind the...
It was a nice goal, you know. It caught our goalie off guard, you know. And you gotta, you know, that's the type of team that practices that, and they throw those types of shots. And unfortunately, Asa didn't see it, and it was a big momentum boost for them. They went on a 7-goal run there to, I think it was, what was it, 10-10? 9-9, and they went to 16-9, and that was, I think that was one of the 15th goal, and that was a tough one. And it just gave them some energy. And you know what? We dug down and we rallied and did our best and just ran out of time.
Coach, what did you say to your team when you were down to 69 coming out of that timeout and that led to that offensive run that came after?
Well, the amazing thing was there was still plenty of time left in the game. There was, let's see. When we were down, there was like 10 and a half minutes left, and we had took our time out, and it was I think 16-10, and you know we can score a lot of goals, and we did, and we just came up one short. But you know, we're never out of a game. The way we play, we can score 8 goals in 10, 15 minutes. So you know, we're never out of it, and like I said, I gave my team credit because they didn't give up. And they got a rally going and just came up a little bit short. Dug the hole a little too deep.
Coach, what was the thought process behind taking Ace out after that goal?
You know, it was just a run. You know, they had a run of those 7 goals, and that's when you just look for anything to get a spark, to get a change. And you know, you try and do something that changes the momentum. And we did get a momentum change, and it was... it's what we needed, and we got a spark, and it may not have been from that, but sometimes it comes from the most random thing that you do, and all of a sudden the switch goes and you start putting the ball away, and that's what we did.